Hi everyone, and welcome to our What to Expect After Ostomy Surgery class from Better Health. I'm your host, Siobhan. There's a whole lot to untangle after your ostomy surgery. There's a lot of complex things happening, and so I'm going to guide you through all of those things and what to expect, some how-tos, and then some checkpoints to keep in mind as you are recovering. I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce Better Health. We are a new kind of medical provider, and we take a holistic view of your healthcare journey. What that means is not only do we offer classes like these ostomy classes to help you navigate your ostomy, but also we offer one-on-one consultations as a member-exclusive benefit to overcome and specific challenges that you may be having with your ostomy. I'm Siobhan, and I've had an ileostomy for 6 years, so we probably share a lot of the same experiences around leaks, blowouts, problems with our products. But I have to say that even though it was challenging and a huge adjustment, getting ostomy surgery has actually been a wonderful thing for me, and it's allowed me to have my life back and to participate 100% in the things that I love. Now, let's get down to basics. What is an ostomy? You might have been told that you need ostomy surgery, and that can be a really scary thing to hear. But ostomies are pretty simple if you think about it. An ostomy is just a surgical incision in your abdomen. Now, the surgeon will take a piece of your small intestine or a piece of your large intestine, kind of pull it out through that incision and fold it back. It kind of looks like a rosette when he's done, and that's called your stoma. Now, the reason that you might need ostomy surgery, sometimes you have bowel disease like I had, sometimes you have cancer, sometimes there's a trauma or a birth defect. Lots and lots of people have ostomies, and it's not anything to be ashamed about or to feel too worried about. Many people live successful lives with ostomies. Now, day one in the hospital, you're going to, what to expect? You're going to go into the hospital, have your surgery, you're going to wake up with an ostomy bag on your abdomen. After that, you're going to find that you're probably going to stay in the hospital between anywhere from 1 to 4 to 7 days. It really just depends on your unique healing situation. Once you're discharged home from the hospital, you'll begin to take on certain tasks. So, you might be able to get up and move around. Your incisions should be healing. Your body's going to be adjusting to the stoma. So you may experience some changes to your digestion. And then at that 6-week mark, usually is when a lot of people start to feel better or they're able to return to work. During that time, you're going to get some more proficient with your managing your ostomy system changes. It is a learning process, so give yourself time. Those first few changes they're not easy. They're going to be tricky. And then finally, it's usually between 6 months and a year that most people report that they really have their energy back, that they're really feeling confident and comfortable, and that they begin to really make a solid adjustment to their ostomy. So right after surgery, what's going to happen? Well, like I said, you're going to wake up and you're going to have an ostomy bag and wound drains on your abdomen. While you're in the hospital, you'll probably start with an all-liquid diet, and then you might be able to progress to a low-residue diet. A low-residue diet are things like mashed potatoes, toast, oatmeal, bananas, very easy on the digestive system. After your surgery, you'll probably also be encouraged to gain mobility. And that just means standing up, walking to a chair, walking to the restroom, going up and down the hall in the hospital. And then, of course, your nurses and probably some other specialists will come in and help you learn about managing your ostomy system. So that includes things like your first few pouch changes, how to drain your pouch, and other sort of basic how-tos of living life with an ostomy. Now, once you're at home, hopefully you're starting to get some rest because hospitals are not restful places. And if you're starting to feel more hungry, or even if you're not, and that's normal. Some people have an appetite that comes back right away. Some people it takes weeks. But you might want to consider continuing that low residue, low fiber diet. It is very easy on the digestive system because it's easy to digest. These foods don't take a lot of work. They don't leave a lot of residue, and they're usually pretty comfortable for people to eat. I also recommend eating small meals. Small meals mean that usually a bowl full or so of food. I usually eat oatmeal or my spaghetti and meatball, and I just find, a bowl full about this size. Now, to make up for those smaller meals, if you're feeling hungry, you can eat more frequent meals. So I usually eat anywhere between 4 and 6 meals a day. And that helps me keep my digestive system active and my output moving through my system and out into my bag. And then finally, eat slowly and chew thoroughly. A couple of reasons for this. By eating slowly, you're not going to inhale your food. You're not going to be adding extra air into your system after your surgery, which if you're feeling gassy after your surgery, that can be really uncomfortable from the inside. And then chewing thoroughly, make sure that those food particles are very broken down and can pass out through the stoma later with more ease. Now, a lot of people think of diet as just food, but actually hydration is really key. Make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids. And the reason that you need to drink lots of fluids if you have an ostomy is because you're missing part of your bowel or some of your bowel, most of your bowel. But the bowel is where the body reabsorbs fluids from digestion for use elsewhere in the body. Now, with an ostomy, those fluids are passing straight out and your body doesn't have access to reuse them, which means that you need to supplement the fluids that your body needs by drinking more. There are some very common signs of dehydration: dizziness, headaches, weakness, muscle cramps, dark urine. All of those things can signal that you need to add in a couple of drinks of water or a cup of milk. Orange juice are great rehydration options. G2, which is the low-calorie version of Gatorade, or even coconut milk, is great, especially since it's so widely available now. Now, what goes in must come out, right? So what to expect from your output? Well, for most of us, after ostomy surgery, we're probably going to be experiencing lots of output. Our bodies haven't adjusted yet to slowing down how fast they digest food. So might be seeing things that we put in very quickly come right back out. It's normal and it should slow down. This is also a good reason to drink lots of fluids to make sure that you're replacing all of that extra fluid you're losing through your output. Keep track of your input and output. If you've been sipping all day but you're putting out tons of output, then you probably want to let your medical provider know about that. Now, I have a class on diet and ostomies that I highly recommend, where I go into a lot more detail about the foods that you can eat, how to reintroduce certain foods into your diet, all of that good stuff. While mobility is very important for healing, you also want to pay attention to lifting restrictions. Now, the reason you want to pay attention to lifting restrictions is that you want to protect yourself from a hernia. And a hernia is when you have that incision in your abdomen from where your stomach comes out. You want to ensure that those muscles that were sewn together aren't stressed too much and then start to separate out, because that can lead to your internal organs being able to sneak out. So follow your doctor's limits. Usually it's in the 5 to 10 pound range for the first 6 weeks or so. So make sure you're checking in with your provider at your surgical follow-up appointments and asking them about how much you can lift. Changing your ostomy system. Now, this is a big challenge. This is, not only are you trying to get up and eat again and move again, but suddenly you have a whole new system to manage and keep track of. And it's very confusing at first. There is a very sharp learning curve. I was there, and definitely it took some time, but I did feel more confident and comfortable over time. If you're discharged from the hospital with home health care, meaning a nurse comes to visit you after your hospital stay, she is the one, or he is the one, who is going to bring you your ostomy supplies and help you manage those first changes. And I highly recommend that you take the time to really ask them a lot of questions and learn from them about what to do when you change your ostomy system, because the first time that you do it on your own, it's definitely very intimidating. One of the things you want to keep in mind with your ostomy system as you're learning to change it is that your needs might change as well. So what that means is your stoma is going to, kind of swell and go down. Your abdomen might go swelling and come down. Your incisions are going to start healing. So all of these things will have interplay with how well your barrier sticks to your abdomen. So if you experience leaks or other issues, just know that it can be a process to find all the steps that work for you, what supportive ostomy products can help manage your leaks, all that good stuff. So I recommend our class on managing leaks, and you can find that in our series below. Ordering ostomy supplies. This is another area that I was very confused about. In the beginning, I didn't realize that ostomy supplies were something I had to order. I didn't realize that they were specialty products and that I couldn't just go down to my local pharmacy like I would with if I wanted to get bandages or other wound management supplies. So that being the case, I want to let you know that you can learn from my mistakes. Insurance pays part or all of the costs of ostomy supplies. Depends on your insurance, but Medicare, for instance, which is sort of the standard most insurances adhere to, will pay 80% of the cost of your ostomy supplies, and you will be responsible for 20% of those ostomy supplies by paying for them out of your pocket. Now, you can come to us as a medical supply company. We will do all the legwork for you in setting up that insurance billing, talking to your doctor to get the prescription that you need. And yes, you need a prescription in order to pay for your ostomy products through your insurance. But you do not have to pay for ostomy products out of pocket. If you have insurance, I recommend you use it. If you're not sure how many ostomy supplies to order, I recommend ordering them in an amount at 1 month at a time. This can be a good thing for several reasons. First, if you're new to ostomy supplies and your ostomy, your product needs might change. So that means that you find that you start out with one barrier and bag system and then you learn that you need a different one. Or you find that you have a reaction to the materials in a particular ostomy system. You have other choices. So don't feel like you have to stick with the system that you got originally. Manufacturers will also send samples to you. So there are about 3 or 4 different ostomy product manufacturers out there. Usually they'll send you a little kit with all of their best sellers, including barriers, bags, 1 pieces, 2 pieces, ostomy paste or barrier rings, powders, all those little goodies to encourage you to use their brand. But, find the brand that works best for you. So how do you find the brand that works best for you? Well, we are an amazing resource here at Better Health. We have product experts who can make great recommendations to you and help you decide what you need. You don't have to stick with what the hospital gave you. They often give you a particular brand of supply. I learned after I left the hospital that I was actually allergic to the tape in that brand, so I had to switch to a different manufacturer. There's 4 major manufacturers: Coloplast, Convatec, Hollister, Security. There's some others, but those are the 4 major ones in the United States. Better Health sells all of these manufacturers and all the products that each manufacturer makes. So each manufacturer makes their own set of products. So, each one will offer an ostomy. Ostomy barriers will also offer barrier sprays. They will also offer their version of a powder. So you can either choose to go with all products from one manufacturer, or you can pick and choose and kind of mix and match some products. Just keep in mind, the only thing you can't mix and match are bags from one manufacturer and a barrier from another manufacturer. It doesn't work that way. And then finally, when you're working with your ostomy barriers, keep in mind that the peristomal skin, the skin around your stoma, is very vitally important. It's so important to keep it healthy because that's the surface that you're sticking your ostomy system to. So if it's healthy, it's going to hold on to that system better. You're going to be less likely for leaks, to have leaks or other skin irritation. Now we do have another ostomy class on what to do if you are experiencing skin irritation, and I'll put that link in the comments. In those first few weeks after ostomy surgery, you may find it really difficult to sleep. And one of the reasons is that it's very common to have to get up in the middle of the night and empty your pouch. Now, as time goes on, hopefully that need will lessen. I still find that sometimes I need to empty my pouch once a night. but that's down from 2 or 3 times in the beginning. Additionally, if you find that your pouch is filling up at night with a lot of gas, I would recommend reducing gas-causing foods, like if you're eating any vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, beans, or carbonated drinks like sodas or beers. Those all can contribute to the amount of gas in your system. And of course, it all has to go somewhere, so either out or down into the bag. And then usually walking around, moving around can help promote that digestive process, make it happen more quickly so that you can see that output sooner and empty your bag right before you go to bed and have less sleep interruptions. Now, if you've never had a blowout, you're the luckiest ostomate alive, and please get in touch with me to let me know what your secrets are. But a blowout is when you're sleeping. It usually happens at night because you're not realizing your pouch is getting overfull and taking steps to either empty it or change it. And you wake up with a mess on your hands because either the bottom of the pouch blew out or the output or the gas found its way out through the barrier. I recommend that you have a really great mattress protector, and in those first few weeks after you come home from surgery, you should know that laying down some towels, one of those $1 disposable shower curtains, things like that can help manage those nighttime interruptions by making cleanup really quick and allowing you to get back to sleep. I also recommend having 2 mattress protectors if your budget allows it. And the reason is that later on, once you're not having regular blowouts, and I still have them from time to time, we all do. Hopefully, if you do have a blowout, you can change your mattress protector, change your bed, put something in the wash, put stuff in the garbage, and then get back to sleep sooner rather than thinking you might have to worry about another blowout that night. If you have a urostomy or a high output ileostomy like me, you might need a night drainage system. Now, this is because urostomies and ileostomies tend to be constantly active by nature of the organs that they're connected to. So there's no way to control output here. If that's the case, you can get set up with a night drainage bag and connectors. Those are paid through insurance, as well as if you have a high output ostomy, you can get a high output ostomy bag. Clothing. I always encourage people to dress in what makes them feel most comfortable and confident. So in the weeks after surgery, definitely recommend those looser fitting clothes. You're going to be dealing with that swelling. You don't want any sort of tight fitting clothes, irritating wounds that are recovering, or your stoma can be sensitive. However, you should wear what makes you feel good. So you don't have to hide your ostomy under baggy clothes. I'm just suggesting that for that period after surgery where you're trying to get better. If you want to wear form-fitting clothing or things that really accentuate your body, I say completely go for it. Just search ostomy and fashion if you do a little internet, and you'll discover there's tons of people out there who really are able to create wonderful fashion looks and be very stylish, and you wouldn't know that they have an ostomy bag at all. And then we learned recently that some of our clients didn't know that they can tuck their ostomy bag into your pants. It's absolutely okay to do that. I know some people have a concern around whether that ostomy output can fall down into the bag if the pant waistline is covering it up. And so, that's why you could avoid those really tight fitting belts. And it's a good idea to just check to see how well your output is falling down into the bag if you do have a waistline is hitting right at that stoma. Now, these are optional, but lots of people love wearing ostomy wraps, ostomy underwear, and bag covers. And the reason is that they can help support your ostomy bag. I wear ostomy underwear. It's been a worthy investment for me, although they can get a little pricey. And the reason is the underwear has a special pocket in it that you can put your ostomy bag into. It just supports it, holds it against the body, keeps that profile a little flatter. Work and activities. So usually a lot of people are feeling ready to go back to work 4 to 6 weeks or so. And here are my recommendations for doing that. Start gradually. So what that means is don't try to go back to work full time right away. You might want to try half time in the beginning, because even though you might be feeling better, really your stamina and your endurance aren't quite back yet. You've just had major surgery, and that's not major with a lowercase m, that's like major with a capital M. You've had a big surgery and your body needs time to recover. It's your choice to tell people whether you have an ostomy surgery or you just had surgery or you just had a medical issue. That's up to you. Lots of people may not have known, may not have actually ever talked to somebody with an ostomy before. If you do, let them know. But quite often the case is that there's like 2 or 3 degrees of separation where people will say, oh yeah, my aunt's former husband had an ostomy or something like that. So they can relate to you on that level. And activity is tolerated. Now, fitness is a huge part of my own personal life, and I had to start from the beginning. So once my doctor said, you can add activity is tolerated, I started going on longer walks, and I started trying to build up my core strength through some gentle yoga. Go slow, but and recognize that you're not always going to be feeling super strong some days. And then whether you're at work or whether you're out and about doing things you love at your grandkids' soccer games or your sister's birthday party, take an emergency kit with you and include in that kit not just extra supplies. If you need to do an emergency change in somebody's bathroom, bring a set of small garbage bags that'll make you feel confident. It's okay to throw away your used ostomy system in the garbage bag in somebody's trash. And it's always a good idea to bring an extra change of clothes with you, especially in the beginning. Our ostomies can be a little unpredictable. Things can happen, and so you want that backup preparedness to be in place. All right, so at that 6-week mark, hopefully you are out and about again. You're starting to maybe get back to work. You've rejoined your exercise class and you're taking it easy, but you should also be able to manage your pouch changes. Hopefully you've gotten some practice and you've gotten some confidence about what to expect. It can take even longer than 6 weeks though, so just give yourself time. You can absolutely go out to eat with your ostomy. You do not have to stay home. It's one of those things where people feel very self-conscious, but I guarantee you nobody else notices. So do a taste test. Make sure if you go out to your favorite restaurant that you eat a smaller portion. You go easy on the spicy, you go easy on the acidic, just to see how your ostomy reacts to that. And then, as I mentioned, that the regaining strength and energy, it's going to really help you feel better and get healing sooner if you're able to reincorporate those things that are going to get that blood moving, exercise your cardio muscles a little bit, give you some, exercise your lungs, get some deep breaths. All of those things are really going to help promote healing. And then feeling confident and composed. You have this. You do not have to be ashamed about your ostomy, so take comfort in that. All right, we've reached the end of the class, and I always like to give a few takeaways because there's a lot of information that I go over during these classes, and I know it can be overwhelming. So if there's anything I want you to remember, it's these few things. You can thrive with an ostomy. Look for success stories. You're not alone, and your ostomy doesn't limit your potential to do the things that you want to do. I encourage you to seek out support groups. So many of them are online these days. I'm sure you can find one that meets your schedule. And find people that you can share your stories with, especially those stories that might make you otherwise feel embarrassed. We've all had them, and we can laugh about them together and then move forward. Honor where you're at. So do what you can on any given day. Healing takes time, and so some days are going to be better than others, and do what you can on those days that are not so great. Thank you for joining us today in our What to Expect from Ostomy Surgery class. We hope you'll join us for our next class. Hey everyone, and thanks again for joining our ostomy class today. Joining Better Health is a smooth, easy process. We handle your insurance paperwork, talk with your doctor, and ship your supplies quickly, all for free. Plus, as a Better Health member, you have exclusive access to free ostomy coaching. Get started by calling 1-888-702-2501 or visiting us at joinbetter.com.